We've all been in
Dropbox
love
updates. You have
before,
4 red
right?
notifications.
We've all been in love before, right? Yeah, of course we have. But now, imagine that the person you're in love with is a car, and a killer car at that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we are talking about none other than Christine by Stephen King. That's right. You heard me right. Christine by Stephen King. Now, this book starts out with Dennis, who is one of the main characters in the book. He is the narrator of the book, and he is talking about how basically that Arnie, his friend, is a loser in school, and he's basically one of those dudes that all the bullies picks on and everything. And so yeah, so basically, and then he's basically telling you he was the reason that Arnie didn't get killed in school. So then basically they're on their way home from work one day, and they're just talking, and then all of a sudden Arnie's like, "Hey, go back, go back, go back." And Dennis is like, "What, dude, what's going on? What do you see? What is this? What is this thing that you see?" So he pulls up to this old rundown house, and it's like he sees this basically Hulk wreck of a car. And that's the first image we get of Christine in the book. And Dennis is like, "Bruh, you gotta be kidding me." And, you know, Arnie's like, "Dude, no. She can be fixed up. She can be really a classic car. I mean, do you realize that really makes her antique and everything?" And, you know, Dennis is like, bro, Darnell's junkyard is full of antiques and shit. So that is where I think that the possession, I would say, that starts with Arnie. And now I'm about to probably dive into a little bit of subplots. So if you have not read this book, I would advise you to read this book and then watch this video. If you have, which I'm sure a lot of you have, because it came out in 1983. So if you have read the book, cool. Stay tuned. I will not give any spoilers away, or I will at least try not to. So anyway, I think that's where the possession started. So Arnie gets this car, and he goes home, and he tells his mom and his dad what he did, and they're like, "No, you're not keeping this car here. And his mom's like, you ain't keeping this thing here." And Arnie's like, Arnie's pissed. He's like, "No, what is this? Why not?" And they're just like, "No, you're just not." So they end up going to Darnell's garage, but before they get to Darnell's, they run into a flat tire. And even before that, though, Arnie buys Christine from this old dude named Roland LeBay. And Roland LeBay he's, to quote the book, he's a shitter, basically. And like, he's really, to quote Dennis here, the guy's really fucking weird. So yeah. So anyways, he buys the car from Roland LeBay, and it's just, the guy is just weird. So then he goes home. His parents tell him, "No, you're not keeping it here." And so he's like, "You're not keeping it here." And so they go to Darnell's, but before they end up going to Darnell's, he has a flat tire. And So they have to stop they stop at this lady's house. This not old lady, but she's a younger lady, and she's like, "Oh, you can't keep that car here." Blah 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 blah. And he's like, "Look, lady, I just got a flat tire." And she's like, "Oh, I don't care. I don't want that piece of shit on my lawn." Blah 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 blah. And like, so and she goes on to say like, "Oh, my husband will be home soon. And he'll do something about you." And so Dennis goes on to get the tire, and he gets back, and oh boy and Arnie are about to go at it, boy. I mean, go at it. And so they end up getting the tire on, and this is where it starts. The possession of Arnie starts even more, because Arnie's starting to get this cockiness about him. So, anyways, they get to Darnell's, and this is crazy. So they get to Darnell's, and Darnell's like, "Hey, I knew a dude that had a car like that, and like, if you basically." Dude said if you pour water down his throat, he would have pissed Ice Cubes. He was so mean. And Darnell's this kind of asshole-ish dude, and like, he's not very nice. So it's like you have to know Darnell. So to quote, to go off topic here for a second, every time I see Darnell in the book, I see Robert Prosky, who played him in the movie. Robert Prosky did a really good job of Darnell in the movie, so every time I read the book, or listen to the book, I should say, because I've listened to it several times with several different narrators, but anyways, I hear Robert Prosky's voice every time. And it's wild, because like I said, Darnell is this asshole-ish dude, and so then Arnie starts really acting weird. So he gets the car to Darnell's and everything, and so Dennis starts seeing less and less of Arnie. And when he does, he notices his complexion is really cleared up and everything, and like he's just, he seems to be, looking better and stuff, but at the same time he looks older and everything, and so Dennis is like, "Hey Arnie, what's going on, bro?" And like, so Arnie's just like, "Oh, I'm just chilling, bro, just working on my car." When he sees him, he's just like, "Man, Arnie, you're looking good, bro. You ain't you're looking good and everything." And like, Arnie's like, yeah, cool. So then basically Arnie gets into a fight with Buddy Repperton at the garage, and they're at Gino's Pizza, and Arnie and Dennis are talking, and he's like, "What happened to you, man? Where did you get the shiner?" So, because he got a black eye, and Repperton gave it to him, and apparently, like, so he's always being a dick to Arnie, and Arnie's just like, no, I'm not having this anymore. So Arnie gets into this. Arnie beats his ass, basically, but not before Buddy puts a black eye on him. And like, he walked by his car, busted his car up, he popped out a jackhammer, not a jackhammer, but a jack handle, and busted one of Christine's headlights. And Arnie's like, "Oh nah, this shit is gonna be revenged," and he just laid into him. And like, and Dennis thinks that's weird, because Arnie's not one of these dudes who is a fighter. He's like I said before, he's a pizza faced loser, basically. He's pimples and everything like that. So yeah, so now this is where it gets really weird. This is why I say this is really, really, really weird. So Michael gets Dennis alone one day because Arnie and his dad and mom are about to go on vacation, and he tells Dennis, "Hey, can you go down there and look at the car and see what he's done?" And Dennis is like, yeah, sure, I'll go down there and everything. And Arnie's very, very. So ever since he's got Christine, he's become very suspicious and very anger filled because yeah. So he goes down there and he's looking and he's like, what's going on? And even before that, though, even before what I was just talking about happened, jump back to there's the scene in the book where he's at Roland D. LeBay's garage and he's sitting in Christine and Christine's like, he gets inside Christine and he must have had like a vision or something, or he thinks that's what he had. But anyways, he swears he hears her say, he swears he hears her say, "Come on, big guy, let's go for a ride. Let's cruise. Last chance, big guy. Come on, let's go for a ride. Let's cruise." And then he starts seeing all this different shit and everything, and it's like, whoa. So Dennis goes down to the garage and is looking at Christine, and he's seeing stuff that doesn't make sense. Like there's half a grill where the whole grill was screwed up when they first got Christine. The whole grill was screwed up, but half of the grill is new, and half of the grill is old and rusty. So he's like, what's going on with this? He's like, what is really going on with this? And it's like, no, I'm not, this can't be real. And there was a spider, there was a crack, the whole windshield was cracked when they bought Christine too, and like he sees these cracks that are going, like they're smaller, and he's like, there's no way, and he's like, he starts to think, what has Arnie really done to Christine? What has he really done to Christine? Like, is he really fixing all this? And if he is, he's really doing it half-assed. Like, there's no way that can actually happen, That's I mean, it's wild, Then there was Lee. Lee was Arnie's girlfriend. And something happens to Lee that is very, 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 very strange. And you talk about scary. Hoo-wee. So I can say that, have I read this book before? Yeah, but it's probably, in my opinion, probably one of Stephen King's best novels. And so, like I said, probably one of King's best novels, if not the best novel in my opinion. He's got a lot of good ones though, but I just love how he wrote the book. The book is about 18 to 19 hours long if you read it in audio. I don't know how thick it is in print, but yeah. So, and to say something else about the movie, they picked the music really, really well in the movie as well. Now, as always, the book is better than the movie, but I do think that the movie is really good as well. Now this is a book review, but I have a video, or I have a podcast episode where I did do a Christine versus movie battle, and I compared the two, and compare differences and similarities. So if you guys want that, I can upload that to the channel. Even though this is a book review channel, if you if you guys are interested in seeing that or hearing that, I should say, because this is, if you haven't seen my last video, this channel is going to be audio only from now on. So the reason, going back to the reason that I picked Christine, it's very well written. It's the possession element, and then how LeBay starts possessing Arnie's mind, and how the obsession with the car is just toxic. Like, you can, I mean, it's just like a woman. Like, you can be in a toxic relationship and not realize it, and that's what Arnie was going through with Christine. And then when Lee came into the picture, it was like, it was good vibes for a little bit, and then other stuff started happening. So, I mean, you just gotta read the book for yourself, man. If you haven't read it, go read it. I recommend it. If I were to give it a rating, I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Really good book. Like I said, it came out in 1983. If you have read it, cool. I hope you enjoy my review. And yeah, so that's going to be it for the video, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.